work for people who can afford insurance but choose not to get it?
Well, I am the only candidate left in either party who has a universal health care plan that will cover everyone, and there will be financial help through health care tax credits and limiting the amount of percentage of income that anyone ever pays for a premium. People will be signed up when they come in contact with various agencies like schools or even at the workplace or their health care providers, because if we don't have everyone covered, we will, number one, not be doing what we should in America to take care of our people, but also we'll be wasting money because we know we spend more money than anybody in the world. And my plan has actually been evaluated independently by a number of experts who have said that it would cover everybody and the cost would be affordable, and I tell you how I pay for it. So if people are more interested, they should go to the HillaryClinton.com website and see all of the details.
Could you clarify one point, though, about people who can afford it, meaning, let's say, a family of four that makes $125,000. They can clearly afford health insurance, but they choose not to. How would you enforce it?
Well, I don't think enforcement is going to be that big a problem once it's made available to people, but people will be required to participate. And there are a number of ways of doing that. As I said, people can be automatically enrolled when they are at the workplace. We'll ask employers to make sure that everyone is covered, not that small employers were going to have to do it themselves. They, too, will be able to go into the congressional health plan that Congress has, and it's a good plan for itself and federal employees. And it will be affordable. You know, this idea that somehow it's going to be difficult, I just don't buy. I think what's happened is that, you know, a few of the people who don't have health insurance now choose not to have it, and they will be required, and there'll be many different ways that they can sign up. But most people don't have the financial help, and we are providing that through my plan. So I think we're going to get everybody covered. And, you know, I think that it has to be a goal. The idea that we would start without trying to cover everyone is just not acceptable to me. That's what we've done for too long, and the problems get worse. The costs go up for everyone. We have more and more people who are not only uninsured completely, but you know, they have insurance, but when they really need it to pay their doctor or their hospital, it's not there for them. So we're going to regulate the insurance industry differently, and we've put together a package that will lower costs for everyone, improve quality for everyone, and cover everyone. Those have to be the three goals, and that's why, as a Democrat, I'm so committed to making sure nobody goes without health care.
Senator, you've said in recent days that a mailer that's going out by Barack Obama paints an inaccurate picture. It says it forces everyone to buy insurance even if they can't afford it, and forces some families to pay a penalty. Is that accurate?
No, it's not accurate, and it really is the Republican talking points. It's as though his literature is being written by the Republicans and the health insurance companies. You know, it's so ironic because he has a requirement for parents to buy health care for their children, which has to be enforced. And the idea that you would have parents going uninsured, who are the main stays of their families while they are required to cover their children, makes absolutely no sense. So I think both on the merits and on the politics, his approach is just not doable, and it doesn't really represent Democratic values or solving the problem. You know, I've said many times, we've got to solve this problem of health care coverage. Otherwise, we're going to continue to spend more money than anybody in the world, cover fewer and fewer people, raise the costs for everybody who does have insurance, until finally our system just breaks under the weight of this dysfunctional financing. So I'm going to be committed to solve the problems and not to put out misleading Republican talking points about trying to cover everybody in our country.
Let's talk a little bit about another huge issue for people, and that's the economy, recession. Some people argue we're already in one. Others say that we need to pass some sort of stimulus plan, and quickly, to avoid one if that's the case. Right now, the House has a version. You're going to be heading back to Washington to vote on a Senate version. And meanwhile, there is talk that perhaps the longer this takes, the less effective it is. What would you do right now to try to stem the economic troubles we seem to be getting into?
Well, I would have a very aggressive policy toward trying to stop home foreclosures. Again, I'm the only candidate left in this race on either side who's been talking about the mortgage crisis for nearly a year. We need to put a moratorium on foreclosures to help people stay in their homes, And we need to freeze these interest rates that continue to escalate, driving more and more people into foreclosure. A lot of people were misled. They were the victim of predatory lending practices, and we need to stabilize the housing market. And then I've put forth a plan of how we would put investments into the economy, make sure the unemployment compensation system and assistance for heating aid is available quickly to people. And let's start generating new jobs with green-collar jobs, in addition to the rebates. So I'm going to be going back to vote on what I consider to be some good steps that the Senate has put out, but I don't think it's enough. The most important thing is, number one, we get the stimulus out, and number two, we start working to turn the economy around. We have 2 wars abroad. We're on the brink of a recession. Some states say they're already in a recession. We need a president who is tested and ready on day one to turn the economy around and make it start working for middle-class families again.
I want to show you 2 pictures quickly. One of them, the first is from the day before the New Hampshire primary when you teared up when you were speaking at that roundtable discussion. And the other one's from yesterday when you became emotional on the campaign trail. The CNN Wire described it like this. Senator Hillary Clinton became teary-eyed during an event at Yale University Monday, a moment that harkened back to her much-talked-about display of emotion on the eve of the New Hampshire primary. Now, is this the cynical press? Is it just a coincidence, Senator Clinton, that these moments happened right on the eve of critical votes?
Well, you know, that was a very touching time for me. I went back to the Yale Child Study Center where I started my work on behalf of children 35 years ago, and the man who introduced me was not only a friend now, but he was the lawyer that I worked for to defend children in foster care, and he gave such a moving introduction of me that it was very touching. But this is about, you know, trying to make sure that people know what they need in a president. And you know, emotions about the problems facing kids in foster care, kids who are abused or neglected, families without health care, families without child care. I had lots of those stories yesterday. Make sure that I will always remember what I'm there for. You know, I feel like I have a job to do to help people with their own lives. And yesterday we heard from a mom of 5, the insurance company won't pay for the therapy that her son needs. We heard from a young single mom who's, you know, working as hard as she can to support her kids. She has to have a job during the day to pay for the child care she needs for the job she has at night. I mean, we really are not taking care of people. I want to put the American people first again. And, you know, I think there is a lot of reason for people to worry that the president just doesn't pay attention, and I want them to know that I get it, and I'll be there for them if they are willing to go out and vote for me today, and I hope everybody watching will do that.
All right, well, good luck to you today. I know you're heading out to cast your own vote in just about an hour from now at a school in Chappaqua. Thanks for spending some time with us this morning, Senator.
Thank you so much. Say hello to everybody in Harlem.
I sure will.